Hey, happy for us Saturday or whatever day you happen to be watching this. Happy day to you. This is Joey's Wine Rack and I'm Joey. And they're not. But today we have, of course, special guests. And we're going to talk about beer to start off with. And our beer guy is Ben, the beer guy. And our special guest is Rochelle, the not so much beer gal. But we're going to do a little bit of something. No, wait. We're going to do something and see what we can figure out. You all have been tuning into my stuff. I like wine. I like beer, but I really don't know much about it. So we got an expert who's going to help us out.
We'll try.
Try it is all we can do. So, Ben, the beer guy, what do we got?
We have here is a Fin du Monde. It's a Belgian style triple, or tripel, I guess you could call it, because it goes both ways. This beer was brewed by the Unibrew brewery in Montreal, Canada. It's fairly easy to get. It's pretty widely available. The triple style is a kind of a light-bodied, dry beer. Some fruity notes, a little bit of peppery, spicy esters to it from the yeast. Pretty good beer in my opinion. One of my favorites.
There you go. Does it stack up with the Ben brewed beer?
Not quite. It's close, but not quite.
So when you brew your beer, what do you call it? And then a secondary question, how do you decide what you're going to brew?
Depends on what I'm feeling like that day. I rotate through quite a wide variety of beers when I brew. I brew porters, stouts, IPAs, pale ales, triples. I've done a couple different Belgian styles. Abbey, Doubles, Golden Strong. It's one of my favorites. As far as how do I name them? I don't know. Whatever strikes me, I guess. Something that fits the theme of the beer. Try to find something original because there's a million different beer names out there. Sure. It's hard to find something that isn't already taken. So.
Right on. So do you, for your own stuff, a little plug for the man, do you have it's Ben's Brewery or something cooler than that?
For my brewing name,
Wilder
Brewing.
There you go. That works.
Wilder Brewing. That's my garage name.
Very cool. So, why don't you show us what we got here? It's something that not something we see all the time, because how many of us out there, we're used to the, okay, here you go, or the, from high school. After high school, when it was legal.
Legally too.
This, I see a cork.
Most Belgian styles are usually corked. The bigger champagne style bottles. It's just a traditional thing that they do. I think it's kind of neat. Mm-hmm. Although I have had Belgians that were capped like a normal beer bottle.
And there's a cage on there, so for me, I'm thinking kind of like champagne or champagne style wine, so there's a little extra carbonation in there, and the cage really helps to make sure that the cork stays in.
Right.
Because if it's not,
it'd be a messy experience. I did that once. Corked a batch of beer that I did and didn't put the cages on them, and I had quite a mess in my little storage room when they built up enough carbonation to start popping all the corks. It was quite interesting. My wife was not happy.
But she's a wife and she loves you anyway, right?
I hope so.
We have talking dogs in the studio today. Sorry. Well, tell us what we got, what we're doing here, and how we knock it out.
All right. First thing I have to do is just open them up.
Okay.
The shape of the beer glass makes a big difference in the way you taste it. The shape of the beer glass kind of directs the aromatics, for the nose. Kind of helps just the whole experience. The shaker pint, the basic V-style glass, is probably one of the worst beer glasses you can drink out of. A lot of the beer snobs like me really disdain the typical pint glass because it's just not cool enough.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, right? Good pour. You always want a good vigorous pour. You want to create a good head on the beer. Doesn't matter if you don't fill the glass because the bottle's not going anywhere. You can top it off as you like.
Right.
And again, that also helps to release some of the volatile aromatics. The aroma does change over the course of drinking. As the beer warms up, you know, the aromas and the flavor does change as well.
And you'll notice this glass is a little different. It's because
Don't to make a mess.
the young man here, who did not make a mess yet,
Not yet.
brought a nice gift to the studio. There you go.
So, sign of a good beer is a nice, long-lasting head. You know, it should stay for a while. The Belgians typically have like a lacing in the glass, so as you drink it, there'll be like little rings where the foam is, the level the foam is in the glass, and that's another sign of a good quality beer.
So, what kind of alcohol content are we? I know that's not the biggest thing for everybody's mind, but you know, why not?
It's 9% alcohol, so it's a little stronger than your typical beer. It's triple. It's the style. It's a triple fermentation. The triple has to do with the amount of alcohol that's in the beer. So the higher the alcohol, the name. So you got the single, which of course is the lower alcohol. The double, which is a little higher. The triple, and the quadruple, which is of course a much stronger beer, usually about 10 to 12% alcohol.
Wow. And that's really 10 to 12% is just under what normal wines are, at least on the show. You know, we're looking generally 11 to 13 for wine, so it's not something you go, yeah, kick this back and I'm gonna go dry. No.
It's definitely a sipping beer, not a chugging beer.
Because if you want chugging beer, well, go to the commercial stuff. I know. I used to do it, but I've learned. I got experts hanging out. I have got the coolest friends and family. I get to learn about beer, I get to learn about music, I get to learn about travel, I get to learn about other countries. I mean, it's cool. So, are we ready to taste?
Right. Absolutely.
To give this a sniff?
Give it a good sniff, swirl it around a little bit, kind of release those aromatics.
So again, really kind of similar to wine.
It's very similar, yes. Definitely got a nice light fruity aroma. It's highly carbonated, which is typical for the style. Good light body, It's definitely got a little bit of that peppery kind of flavor to it, like kind of in the background.
So you said this is one of your favorites. What makes it one of your favorites?
I'm not sure. I love the way it tastes. It's when I first started drinking, good beer, triple was the first style that I was introduced to. And so it's just kind of, the first one I ever had that really changed my whole view of what beer was. It wasn't just the typical, Guinness, Bud, Coors kind of beers. And it's just one that's always stuck with me. I've always enjoyed. Again, it's a good light flavor. Nice warmth as it goes down. You can kind of feel it warming up.
I would imagine that at least a part of that is because of the alcohol content.
Absolutely.
A lot of the American stuff or the commercial stuff is what, 4, 5 maybe?
4.5 to about 5.5 is pretty standard.
Yeah. So here in Colorado we have a lot of microbrews, and it's actually I've read and I've actually published. We have one of the largest concentration of microbrews in the country. U.S., that's the country we're talking about. Tell me a little bit, in your opinion, what makes Colorado unique, or maybe not so unique, that we have so many microbrews?
A lot of our water here is excellent. Colorado Springs has great water for brewing. In fact, a lot of the breweries in town don't even treat their water. They don't add anything or do anything at all to make their water better for the beers themselves. So that's part of it here. It's just we got great water in this area. It just kind of goes with the lifestyle. You got the mountains, you got skiing, you got a lot of outdoor activities. Beer just kind of goes along with that. I think.
Motorcycle.
That too.
Beer after the ride. Sorry, folks. That's my style. I don't do the whole drinking ride. Cool. Before I interrupt yet again, or actually when I interrupt again. So we have a young lady here who's not necessarily a big beer drinker. So what did you think?
It was good. You could taste the fruit. I believe you said apricot.
Mhm.
You could taste that in the undertone of it. Not your typical beer.
Yeah. And everybody's got a different style, what they like. A lot of it has to do, frankly, with what you were introduced to, as you were saying. Well, this is the first one you were introduced to when you started getting off the commercial stuff.